Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the Evolve Love podcast and happy Wednesday. Happy Mercury Day. I am so glad that you're here. And if you were with us last week, you learned that Wednesday, being Mercury Day, is the day for communication, sharing, words, learning, conversation, and everything around those themes. Another part of Wednesday is that last week I did a card pull and I had so much fun with that. I felt like it was really important and really connected to the energy of that particular day. And so I did that once again. I said, you know what, let's pull a card for Wednesday, April 15th as in the theme of water. So the moon is still in Pisces. Yesterday, we really talked about the benefits of salt water to heal, replenish, and cure some of the ailments that we may have, both physically and emotionally. And then on Monday, we talked about making our intention around the concept of flow. And in today's card pull, we're going to get into that. We're going to check in about how are we feeling with those intentions of focusing more on flow, less on the rigid scheduling and more on the spontaneity of living life in flow and in the moment. So for today's card that I pulled, I'm using the Ancient Stones deck by Rebecca Campbell. I love everything Rebecca Campbell. I love her books. I love her decks. Amazing, just incredible energy. And what's so interesting, so I picked the Ancient Stones because for me, I was like, okay, water is the vibe. And I was looking through my decks and this is the one that drew me in the most. And so when that happens, I know that's the one. I know that's the one to use. So interestingly enough, even though this was the Stones deck, I picked a water card, of course. So the water card that came out for today is the Edge. And because this is a podcast and you can't see the picture on it, I'm going to explain it a little bit. But it is a mirrored image, so a symmetrical image right down the middle of an ocean. A beautiful ocean with rainbow lights coming off of the surface. And on the sides of the picture are cliff sides. And I don't know if it's Ireland. I don't know if it's Iceland. I don't know where it is, but it's something like that. Okay. Rugged cliff sides. And at the front edge of the cliff stands a woman. And the woman is draped in a beautiful blue dress. And she is just stepping out right to the very edge. So the words on the card also say, take a chance, do something different. And so with this is kind of how I interpreted it, is that with the Edge card, we are at the start of something new. We are at the edge. Have you ever used that, as a phrase before where you feel like I'm right on the verge of something new. I'm on the edge. I'm right there. I can tell that the next chapter is right on the other side of this. That's what I feel with this particular card that we pulled today. You are at a jumping off point. And that's not a scary jump off. I mean, it can feel scary. Yes, because you're about to jump into something new, but it's that energy of what is next and the faith and trust that goes into taking that step. The woman that is on the edge of this cliff has such a wide and beautiful landscape ahead of her. But just like I mentioned that it can be scary to take that step, you need courage to be able to take the leap towards doing something different. This card completely has the energy of the song Into the Unknown from Frozen 2. If you know what song I'm talking about, amazing, you can understand this. And if not, put on the Frozen 2 soundtrack and listen to Into the Unknown. There are 2 versions of it, and they're both super awesome and totally different, because one is like rock version, like super high energy, loud instrumentation by, I think it's Panic at the Disco. I don't know what the main singer's name is, but it's definitely him. And then the other version is, of course, Elsa. Into the Unknown, Frozen 2. And what is so interesting, I have like a very special, fond feeling with Into the Unknown, because when I was pregnant with my twin boys, I had a lot of car rides with my daughter, and because we were going back and forth to school, it was her first year of preschool, and we were driving in the car a lot, to go to preschool, and I really couldn't do much at the end of the pregnancy. I was incredibly pregnant with twins, and I had a hard time walking. I was in a lot of pain, and the car was easy for me because we could drive, we could go places, and it was fun. And she was really, really into the Frozen 2 soundtrack. And I knew that there were going to be new children coming into the family. And I wasn't sure what that dynamic was going to be like. Okay, this is the edge, right? I knew the new beginning was coming. And I knew that I would have the courage to take the step, obviously, to take the step to make this all happen. But I also had this worriedness or this uncertainty. It's been just our little family, our family of 3, and now it's going to be a family of 5. And so I just didn't know how it was going to work. I was on the edge. And this, like I said, is that into the unknown type of energy. So how does it feel? How is it feeling just putting the schedule to the side this week? Because when we do that, when we take the schedule out of the situation, it can look different. Things may have started to come up for you in this week where we're focusing more on flow and spontaneity. We're focusing on what our body needs in a current moment. We're focusing on presence. And with that, we're able to really feel truly what it is that's coming up for us, other than relying on looking at a notebook paper with all of our lists of things that we need to do at certain times of the day. And so today, being Wednesday, our action item is going to be journal inquiries around this concept. So with this, what is new that has been calling to you? What are you on the edge of? Is there something that you have, maybe it's been the past couple days, maybe it's been the past couple weeks or months or years. What is it that is calling to you that is new? Okay, so that's the first journal entry today. What is new that has been calling to you? And then the second journal entry for today is, where have you held yourself back from leaping forward, and why? So has there been a reason why you haven't acted on these new items? Why is it that you have not taken the leap? Because there are a lot of times things within our mind space, things within our heart space that we're feeling inspired, that we want to do. But maybe there are things within our life that are holding us back from acting on them. And yesterday, Tuesday, being the action day, we took the time to act on healing and cleansing. And when we do that, sometimes we release things out of us that we no longer want to hold on to. And that creates space for the things that we do want to hold, the things that do light us up, the things that do take place of importance right now in our life. So with all the work that we've been doing this week, today, asking ourselves those 2 journal prompt questions, which I will put in the show notes, because I know if you're driving, it's probably really hard to remember these items. But where are you at the edge of something new? And what is it that you're beginning? And though it can be scary, what a beautiful place to be. Because yes, there's uncertainty ahead, but you get to write your story. I want to thank you all so much for being here today on this Wednesday. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. And don't forget to follow the podcast if you haven't already. You can also make sure to follow Evolve Love on Instagram @_Evolve Love. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk tomorrow.